Looking for these better days.
It is Tuesday, May 12th. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Donovan Mitchell with a record-setting second half as the Cavs even up their series with the Pistons. The Thunder send LeBron James home after a 4-game sweep, and Colorado takes a commanding 3-1 series lead over Minnesota. It's playoff action here on this episode of Better Day presented by FanDuel. Colby Marchio will join us in a few minutes as he previews tomorrow's slate in Major League Baseball. Want to shout out Colby for a big winner yesterday up on betterday.com. Not only did Colby cash his best bet, which was our free bet of the day up on betterday.com with Rafael Devers to go over his hits plus runs plus RBIs, but he also wrote in the free play to sprinkle on the anytime home run as high as plus 390. And Rafael Devers did, in fact, homer last night. So a great cash for Colby, great handicap, and you can find more free plays up on our homepage at betterday.com. All right, let's get into the NBA playoffs, where last night the Cleveland Cavaliers did what they've been doing all season long, all playoffs long, and that's win at home. The Cavs with a 112-103 victory over the Pistons as they even up the series at 2 games apiece. The Cavs, who are averaging 120 points per game at home here in the playoffs. The game goes over, barely, but it still goes over. So that was a best bet winner for us. And the Cavs just continue to play this home road split style. And they were much better last night than they've been on these road games. They didn't shoot as well last night, though, as they had in other home games here in these playoffs. But Donovan Mitchell did. And Donovan Mitchell was the reason why the Cleveland Cavaliers won this game last night. Mitchell finished with 43 points on 13 of 26 shooting, but 39 points in the second half. That ties an NBA playoff record for most points scored in the second half, as he was the best player on the floor. Cade Cunningham only had 19 points on 7 of 16 shooting. James Harden, we talk about the turnovers all the time and how it's been an issue for Cleveland in their losses. He had 3 turnovers in their Game 3 victory. Harden only with 2 turnovers last night. He finished with 24 points on 5 of 14 shooting. He had 11 assists, 0 rebounds. So he goes over his PRA, over his assists, over his points, but obviously under the rebounds. 9 of 9 from the free throw line for James Harden. And the question is now, does the pattern hold, and do the Cavs lose on the road and the Pistons gain a 3-2 series lead? Or have the Cavs figured out something here in these 2 games? Has Cleveland done enough to change the outcome of this series? Because if they just continue the pattern of losing on the road and winning at home, Detroit's going to win the series in 7 games. But if the Cavs can get this performance from James Harden, not turning the basketball over, if they can get good defense and limit Cade Cunningham to only 19 points in this game, if they can get the massive contributions from Donovan Mitchell, who was the best player on the floor and needs to be the best player on the floor, there's no reason to think that this Cavs team can't go on and win this series and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the New York Knicks. Taking a look at the series price right now, Detroit, because there's 3 games left in this series and 2 of them will be in Detroit, they are a minus 135 favorite up on FanDuel right now. Cleveland plus 116 if you think that they can win this series. Taking a look at the spread for game number 5 tomorrow in Detroit, the Pistons up on FanDuel, a 3.5-point favorite, and that's exactly the same line that we had in both games 1 and game 2 in Detroit. So there has been no adjustment in the market as a result of the 2 games in Cleveland. So Detroit, a similar 3.5-point favorite as they were in games 1 and 2 for tomorrow's game number 5. Elsewhere last night in the NBA, the Thunder eliminated the Los Angeles Lakers, 115-112 the final. So LA gets the cover in the loss. The game does go over, and the Thunder get the 4-game sweep. And is it the finale for LeBron James? Is LeBron James's career over? I don't know. If I mean, listen, LeBron can do whatever he wants. If he wants to come back next year and play limited minutes and contribute to a team, he still has enough minutes in him to contribute. I mean, LeBron had another double double last night, 12 boards, 24 points on 8 of 18 shooting. Would it have been a different series if Luka Doncic was playing? Absolutely. Would they have still lost to the Thunder? Absolutely. But you got to give the Lakers credit for playing without Austin Reeves to start the playoffs and without Luka for the entirety of these playoffs. And to have LeBron James lead a team of Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, Luke Kennard, and to win a first round series and to be competitive with the Oklahoma City Thunder at stretches. Yeah, like they lost in 4 games, but this wasn't like the same 4 game sweep that it was with the Knicks beating the 76ers. And last night's performance was not the same game 4 performance like the 76ers had against the New York Knicks. So I think you got to give credit where credit's due. Credit to LeBron and credit to this Lakers team for putting up a fight here in these NBA playoffs. One game tonight in the association. It is the Minnesota Timberwolves at the San Antonio Spurs, where Victor Wembanyama will play. No suspension. He is in. Spurs 10.5-point favorites up on FanDuel tonight, total of 218.5. And our best bet is going to be backing the San Antonio Spurs in the first quarter. We talked about this on yesterday's pod with Jake Hassan. No change in my opinion here on the best bet. It is backing the Spurs in the first quarter, bouncing back with the zigzag after the loss. They are 3.5-point favorites here in the first quarter. Wemby revenge spot after being ejected. I would look towards a Wemby points prop, but here's where I'd look at it though. I'd look at Wemby points in the first quarter. Victor Wembanyama's total here in the first quarter tonight, 6.5 points, minus 118 to the over up on FanDuel. Give me Victor Wembanyama over 6.5 points in the first quarter. I think he scores 10 points tonight in the first quarter. This is going to be his revenge spot. I think the Spurs jump out to an early lead, and I think they go on to win this game. I don't know if they're going to cover the 10.5. I'm not going to bet that. I do think they will have at least a 4-point lead at the end of the first quarter, though. So give me Spurs minus 3.5 in the first quarter. Victor Wembanyama over 6.5 points in the first quarter as well. On the ice last night, the Colorado Avalanche did what we expected them to do, bounce back after their loss as they beat the Minnesota Wild 5-2. Competitive game, 1-0 Wild after the first period. Colorado evened it with a goal in the second period. Then breaking the tie was Ross Colton about 7 minutes into the third period. Nico Sturm then tied the game before Parker Kelly broke the second tie with about halfway through the period. Nathan McKinnon added an empty netter. Brock Nelson did as well. Our shots on goal prop last night went 1 and 2. We hit Ryan Hartman. We lost Matt Boldy, and we lost Nathan McKinnon. But as we always say, when betting a shot on goal prop, what do? We sprinkle on the anytime goal scorer. So cash a little anytime goal scorer on Nathan McKinnon definitely helps out with the other 2 losses on the shots on goal prop for last night. Tonight on the ice, it is game number 4 between Montreal and Buffalo with the series. It has Montreal leading 2-1. And I do think that Buffalo can even the series. I think Buffalo evens the series. I strongly feel like Buffalo can even the series here tonight. So I don't have an official play. Like I don't know if I'll pull the trigger on Buffalo just yet. I was very impressed by the last 2 games here from Montreal, especially, coming from behind to win convincingly in game number 3. Wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo evens up this series. I thought the whole way, leading up to this series, that this was going to be a longer series, that this was going to be a 6 or 7 game series. If I believe that to be the case, then it has me on Buffalo here tonight. Buffalo plus 120 or so we're seeing up on FanDuel right now. And then it is game number 5 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks here at the Fortress in Vegas. Series tied at 2 games apiece, and it has been a coin flip series. Anaheim played a great game in game number 4 to even up this series, and I think it's like a back and forth series. Give me Vegas here on home ice to take a 3-2 series lead. Of course, the props will lead the way. We'll have plenty of shots on goal props up available to Better Day Insider and premium members up on betterday.com as we progress throughout the day here today. In Major League Baseball, it was just a short schedule last night. I mentioned Colby Marchio cashed that Rafael Devers anytime home run prop along with the over hits plus runs plus RBIs. Coming up here tonight, a much larger slate. And we turn to Colby Marchio to break down Tuesday here in Major League Baseball.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Thank you, Scott. Yep, Colby Marchio here to give you a quick little run through of what's going on in the MLB and some leans for Tuesday slate. Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. Sadly, we're doing another Monday recording, and this will be going up on Tuesday. And we lost yet another legend. Last week we lost John Sterling. As a Yankee fan, that was crushing. But growing up, and some of the people you used to watch, some of the guys you used to coach pass away, it's just you feel old. And I don't like feeling old. I like the nostalgia of looking back and just thinking all those guys are just, they could go out there one more time and do it again. But we lost Bobby Cox this past weekend, and just one of the all-time greatest coaches, one of the all-time most animated coaches. Like I grew up in Chicago, so I had Lou Piniella kicking in the dirt and spitting on the coaches, but people down in Atlanta had Bobby Cox. Bobby Cox, Lou Piniella, some of the most entertaining coaches to go out there and complain about calls. But Bobby Cox, one of the best coaches of all time. He will be dearly missed. We'll get the sad stuff out of the way first. On top of that, switching gears, we got to talk about another sad thing. What's up with Cal Raleigh? What's up with Cal Raleigh? He's 0 for 29 his last 7 games, 13 strikeouts, 580 OPS, 7th worst in the AL. 7th worst. We're talking about a guy that was supposed to, I'm using air quotes for those listening, air quotes, supposed to win AL MVP last season. And I don't want to say I'm shocked. I anticipated some regression from Cal Raleigh this season after an absolute booming season a year ago, when he was still striking out at a very high clip and was only hitting home runs. I talk about it so much that I can't believe I'm still talking about it. I'm not shocked that he's had regression. I'm shocked it's this bad. Like I won't even look to put any wagers on him because I can't trust him. I'm not willing to trust a guy who strikes out this much and is a home run or strikeout guy at this point in the season. Maybe in a couple months he will heat up. Who knows? I mean, we talked about last year. Okay, catcher is the most demanding position, and the second half of the season is going to be great. Yeah, he's not looking great in the first half, so how's the second half going to look when he's playing behind the plate almost every single day? We'll see. I'm not looking to gamble on anything Cal Raleigh right now, and it makes me feel better about Aaron Judge winning it last season as a Yankee fan. Oh, but there's my bias. Oops, I try not to be biased. There's my bias. I wrote a lot of notes on this one, and then the next topic I want to touch on, because a lot of people are talking about the Rays right now. Can we trust the Rays? Are the Rays legit? Blah, blah, blah. We're not here to talk about the Rays today. Jake and I on Wednesday could probably talk about the Rays over on Off the Board. Wednesdays at 12:30 Eastern if you want to catch us live, but if you catch the recording, you'll probably listen to us there as well. I want to talk about the White Sox. A little close to home for me. I'm not a White Sox or Chicago Cubs fan. Grew up New York Yankee fan, just by my own choosing. But I do have a soft spot for the Chicago White Sox. Why? Love their food. Food is astronomically good over on the South Side. They're 19-21. I'm coining them the Never Say Die White Sox. That's my nickname for them. I'm also declaring them #fun. 19-21 record. That is a better record than the Tigers, Royals, Mariners, Phillies, D-backs, and the Blue Jays. Let that sink in, folks. The Chicago White Sox. Yes, team that broke history a couple years ago with the worst record of all time. Jake Hassan and I, we dabbled in the AL Manager of the Year market preseason, and we took the longest of long shots, Will Venable, to win Manager of the Year. And I think it's a must buy in if you aren't in right now. If you haven't got into the market and you're like, you know what, these White Sox, they're scrappy, they got heart, they don't say die, they never die, no matter if they're down a touchdown against the Mariners. They're they're just a great bunch that has just a ton of heart, and they're the reason why I wanted to buy in on them. I do have their over 6.5 wins, but I didn't want to ladder it. I'm like, what's a way for me to get out of it? And I took Will Venable plus 5,000 preseason. Now he's around 12 to 15 to 1, which I think is a great price. I don't think it's going to get any better. So I would buy in now. Excuse me, that was a burp, folks. I think this team is fantastic. The number one thing that I really want to keep honing in on, they're young. These are young guys that want to stay in the bigs. These are guys that want to make a name for themselves. They do not want to be sent back down at any point. They're too young. I think their average age is 23, 24 right now. Colson Montgomery, Munetaka Murakami looks amazing. We got to talk about Vargas. Vargas looks great. Everyone's stepping up. They got a lot of pop. They got a lot of morale right now. And I think it's a good time to buy in on the White Sox with the ceiling, with them possibly making the playoffs, them getting in a wild card, or if they win the AL Central. I mean, not the AL, they win the AL Central, excuse me. I think it's wide open. I think it's wide open, that division. No one's good. The Royals aren't that great. The Guardians, who knows? The Tigers, I just said they're a better record than the Tigers. I think they're starting off hot. Maybe they'll cool off, but I think they're an absolute dangerous team. Keep an eye on them. But if you want to get on a little scrappy, little Manager of the Year, Will Venable. Let's go. Let's talk about Tuesday. Tuesday's leans, as of right now, at the time of this recording, definitely, I hate that I'm going to say this. I'm going to be looking at the Reds' first 5 team total against Miles Mikolas. Now, why is that my tone? I can't stand the Reds. The Reds are in a spot right now where they should have been kicking off the season. They haven't been great since Spirit Airlines went down. Go look at the stats. They haven't been great. But Miles Mikolas looks worse. Miles Mikolas may be this season's Antonio Senzatella. So maybe I'll dabble on that. I just don't trust that team. It better be a good price for me to buy in the underlying metrics. Hey, Colby, this is a boom spot. Another one, we were just talking about him. Cole Reagans in the White Sox. Dare I say, maybe it's a Mooney day? Munetaka Murakami? I mean, you're thinking, hey, well, how's Reagans doing against lefties? Well, they have a .488 slugging percentage and a .1041 OPS. Might be Mooney day. Folks, that was the MLB update from me, Colby Marsh Show. Follow me over at Colby M. Betts anywhere you want to find me. Colby M. Betts, it's really easy to find me. Thank you.
All right, great stuff from Colby Marchio. Coming up tomorrow, Colby and Jake Hassan will be streaming their Off the Board podcast on the Better Day Twitter page as well as the Better Day YouTube page. So make sure you are following where you can. We're going to have more surprise contributors coming up this week and next week as well here on the podcast. So we hope you guys enjoy that. Speaking of Major League Baseball, a new feature up on our MLB Game Center for all of you Better Day Insider and Premium members. In addition to the prop projections and the projected box scores, we are now including, and the park factors, the weather, all that stuff, we are now including the batter versus pitcher history. So you can see what each batter in the lineup has done against the opposing starting pitcher. If you click on the game box and pull up the projected box score, you will see the versus starting pitcher column. And then you can even click on those numbers and find out exactly what that player has done against that pitcher in his career. So just another layer of tools and analysis for you guys to reference and make your bets up on betterday.com. To learn how you can become a Better Day Insider or Premium member, just head to our homepage at betterday.com, BETTOR For Colby Marchio, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.